I'm the river, I'm the rain, the lonesome whistle of a train. I'm the amber waves of grain. I'm the highway, I'm the farm, fertile fields and boulevards, the hand that rests over your heart. Oh, I'm the echo of the bell that's ringing. Oh, I'm the freedom in the song we're singing. I'm the seed that's in the dust. I'm the prayer in God we trust. A place to dream for all of us. I'm America. Dance, the open window to a chance, the place where courage takes a stance. All the colors that you see, the lights from 30,000 feet. Yeah, I'm the roar of victory. Oh, I'm the echo of the bell that's ringing. Oh, I'm the freedom in the song we're singing. I'm the seed that's in the dust. I'm the prayer in God we trust. A place to dream for all of us. I'm America. I'm America. I'm the fathers, I'm the sons. I'm the footprints in the mud. I'm a shelter washed in blood. Oh, 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 oh. I'm the seed that's in the dust. I'm the prayer in God we trust. A place to dream for all of us. I'm America. I'm America. I'm America. I'm America.
Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today, because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. Welcome, everybody, to a Sunday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Miss Candace, how are you?
I'm really, really good, but you know, life is happening for
Yes, ma'am.
both of us. I think my daddy was just currently texting me and letting me know he just got out of the hospital because he's had a rough couple of days, and now he has to wait an extra day to get his prescriptions. But the real question is, Willis, how are you? Because
it's been a rough few days, honestly. My stepdad passed away on Friday at 12:53. At 3 o'clock, my company decided to go on, or my union decided to go on strike, unfair labor practice strike. So yeah, it's been a really hard weekend. The idle minds and veterans don't mix very well, and uh, trauma's bad, man. It's just bad. I did get to, I was at the picket line this morning. I got there at 6 a.m. Got done around 10:15, 10:20. Drove home, and the wife and kids were heading to church. And wife said, "Are you going to go to church?" And because she wasn't for sure if I was going to make it or not, I said, "Yep, I'll follow you." So I just turned around and followed her to church and listened to the word today. It gave me chills because it kind of fit with kind of what's going on here lately. And it just, it's just one of those things. It was a message that I needed to hear. So, it's one of those things. And then, of course, we got, we got a great guest coming on tonight. We actually got a special co-host. I'll bring him up in just 1 second. And then we got Mr. Brent Casey, who is with Valor Coins and Pins. He's also carrying on his grandfather's legacy with the Woody Williams Foundation, which is another great organization that focuses on Gold Star families.
He's just a good dude all around.
All around. Yeah, all around. And, Valor Coins and Pins helps with the Woody Williams Foundation, which is an amazing thing. So we'll get into that here in a minute. So if you're out there, whether you're watching on Heroes Media Group, Military United Podcast Stream, HomeFront Sitrep, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching, say hello. Mr. Craig Murphy, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you? How's the weather out in Washington? I'm going to go ahead and bring up Deeds real quick. Mr. Sam, how are you, sir?
Doing well. We just wrapped up our Warrior weekend last Sunday, and then I jet setted to Richmond, Virginia for the NASCAR race and locked the keys in the rental. So it took an hour for the police and us to get the car, get the keys out of the trunk. Yeah. So
I was going to ask you about that.
Leave it to the Marines.
Well, so we have a thing that we test the wind with when we're on the ground. And it was about the same size as the key fob and everything else. So I just reached in my pocket, grabbed what I thought was the key or the Kestrel, and put it in the trunk with our kit and shut the trunk. And then I reached in my pocket and grabbed up, thought I had the keys. I was like, oh man, that's the Kestrel, not the keys. So yeah, it took us probably over a half hour to get the door open. And I will tell you right now, if you're out there and you own a Toyota Camry, that thing is not being stolen at all, man. I mean, you unlock it with the alarm set, and you can't unlock the doors because the doors relock right away.
Oh dang!
So you have to pull the handle to open it, and then you can't pop the trunk. You can't pump the gas. You can pop the hood. That's about it. But all you're going to do is pull a fuse to shut everything off. But when you plug the fuse back in, everything starts going off again.
Oh, dang.
So, yeah, we ended up going to the Sunoco racing team, fuel guys, and getting tools and ripping out the back seat. And then the tow company, man, that dude was about this big that showed up. And we were able to pull off one side of the seat, and he was able to crawl in there and pop the latch for the seats to fold down. That's another thing. The Camrys don't have the fold down seat thing inside the car. It's in the trunk. So we had to fold that down. Then you had to fold the other one down, and then we had pull bags and pop the trunk that way. And man, it was just a big ordeal. And I mean, we got to see an hour of the race that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. But it delayed us coming home. But no, all good. Rest up, and we've got a couple big weeks coming up. Football season's getting ready to start, so we're gonna be busy.
Yep. Y'all gonna get busy here soon. Parachuting into the stadiums and stuff like that, because y'all gonna get busy, man. Y'all are gonna get busy. Yeah, I seen your pictures. I think I even commented on it when I was on Facebook looking at your pictures of you trying to get into the vehicles. I was like, oh hell.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't even realize this. You're repping Woody Williams, aren't you?
I am. I knew Woody for 12, 13 years. I've known Brent for probably 14, 15 years. I'm excited for tonight's show. Not only for, Brent to discuss the Woody Williams Foundation, but Valor Coins and Pins. He's doing some good things there. And I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'll let him talk about that.
How many of those behind you are from Brent?
Which side here? I'm mirrored. So there's a few here, and then there's a couple over on a case over on this side too. Most of the ones that I have for Brent are in the dining room in a different case.
Yeah, he can't keep them all in his office. He's got too dang many of them.
I don't have enough space, man.
No, I bet. And Sam actually helps design a bunch of coins that Valor Coins and Pin does, and other people that come to Sam, and Sam does designs those as well. So
yeah, I've had a lot of my teammates, a lot of my friends that want a coin, and they're like, "This is what I'm thinking," and I just sit down and, matter of fact, I've got one here before Brent gets on. So this, which way do I have to go here? That's all pencil drawing.
That's nice.
Pencil and pen, right? And then the finished product. And Brent has this one on a lot of his stuff, but that's the finished product.
Heck yeah.
All right. And then that's the back.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's just, figuring out, once I do my pencil, pen, laugh if you want, crayon, whatever I can find to color in with, and send it to Brent. And then he sends it to the digital arts person, and they come back with a rendering. And once that rendering comes back, it's back and forth until you get it right, until you as the person that wants the coin says that is exactly what I want. And then you tell them, send it to print, and they get it made up. But I'll let Brent talk more about that.
We'll definitely let Brent talk.
Reaction to the crown just then was great. If everybody could have seen that, it was awesome.
I've got the big ass school pack that had the sharpener in the back over here. That's on standby. Colored pencils, pens, all that stuff. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, they're always.
I got a whole stack of them. Yeah, I got a whole stack of them back here. You can't see them right now, but you will once you go to the bigger screen.
You're the only one. You didn't show off your crayons.
My crayons are in the other room. Hold on.
He's gonna go get them. Oh man.
We'll get a snack.
Oh no, it's colored pencils. Sorry, it's colored pencils.
Well.
No, that'll work. That's close enough.
Different texture.
Yeah, for sure. So you get a toothpick.
Yeah, that's the toothpick style. Oh man. Whoo. Tonight's gonna be a great episode. I'm super excited, man. Mr. Brent Casey, I've talked to him a few times. I've met him in person a few times, and it's just been a long time coming to get him on the show. Of course, he's super busy, and we already had guests scheduled and stuff like that. And finally, we got to sit down and rope it in and got him on the schedule. And I'm super excited for it. So without further ado, let's bring up Mr. Brent Casey to the show. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Hey, it's our pleasure to have you on our show to talk about what you do, not just for Valor Coins and Pins, but not just for Woody Williams, but what you do for veterans in general. So do me a favor and introduce yourself and give a little bit of backstory if you don't mind.
Sure. My name is Brent Casey. I live in Louisville, Kentucky, originally from West Virginia, as was my grandfather and my family. I've been here in Louisville, Kentucky for about 30 years. Out of high school, I started school at Marshall University and quickly realized I needed some more discipline. So joined the Army. I wanted to be a medic, and I wanted to jump out of airplanes. Those were the two things I knew at 18 years old, or at least I thought I knew. So went down to the recruiters. Visited several of them, but of course, only one of those can you join and jump out of airplanes and be a medic. So that's where I ended up. After I got out of the military, that's when I came here to Louisville. My father lived here, and so I'd been here many times and was familiar with Louisville. But came here and started working started school, and a few years back, about 12 years ago, started the Woody Williams Foundation, as was you guys were talking about earlier. And then about 7 years ago, I started Valor Coins and Pins with my brother Brian, and yeah, that's a good start, I suppose.
Okay, so it is my duty. It is what I do is give everybody shit, Brent. Like I gotta do it. Everything else you do is perfect, beautiful, and flawless.
I know where this
But
is going.
you've been here for 30 years. I need you to learn how to say Louisville.
You're not the first person.
Go grab
You're
a
not the first
marble,
person.
throw it in your mouth, and say it, and you'll be all right.
Right. Well, I'm not from here, of course, so I feel like I get a little. I can say it how I want to say it, and I think the correct way is Louisville. It's King Louis. The city's named for King Louis, not King Louis or Louis, whatever.
Louisville.
The city's named for King Louis. It's Louisville, and it's
He
always
said I
been
can say
Louisville
it
to me.
however I want. You're right. You can't. We just know you're not native.
Yeah, we know you're not a native Louisville and Louisville and
It's funny how quickly people figure that out. Yeah.
yeah. Dude, you could be in Florida and say Louisville, and they're like, "Oh, you're not from Louisville," and and then they can definitely tell. I mean, it's just kind of like instantly. Like I wasn't born and raised in Louisville. I was born and raised in Barstown, Kentucky, but I still say Louisville.
That's close enough, though. I mean,
it is. I mean, 45 minutes. It's close enough.
You're from Kentucky. You can tell you're from Kentucky at least.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
tried to say it wrong.
I say Louisville. I mean, I'm not from here. Wasn't born here. Wasn't lived here half my life. But as a recruiter here, you learn real quick that it's not Louisville. It's not Louisville. It's Louisville.
Yeah. Had to.
We have to agree to disagree, I suppose.
You can say it however you want. I'm just, like I said, my duty is to give everybody shit about something, and there's yours.
That's fair. That's fair.
So we had, who did we have on that was talking about Woody Williams Foundation? Do you remember who that was, Candace? I can't remember who it was.
I feel like there's probably not just one.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It might have been Sam.
It might have been. It might have been. I don't. It could have been. Who knows? We've done so many, but I think we. Hold on. Somebody just texted you and I, Candace. But anyway, so tell us a little bit about your grandfather, Hershel Woody Williams, Medal of Honor recipient. Because I know you've heard crazy stories from him, and there's probably stories that probably don't need to get out. But tell us a little bit about your grandfather and why he started the Woody Williams Foundation.
Wow, that's a lot. So I'll start, I guess, later in his life after he retired. Even after he retired, he still had his horse farm. He raised and trained and showed horses for about 35 years. He was a lay minister for about 35 years. After he retired from the VA, he went to work at a veterans nursing home as a commandant. He was the first commandant for the Barbersville veterans. Called it a veterans home, actually, not a nursing home, but so he was just tireless. I mean, he just went and just felt like it's all about physics. When you stop, your body stops, and he lived by that every minute and hour of every day until he passed. He was just a hard worker. I remember as a teenager getting into a little trouble a couple of times, and when that happened, there were always plenty of stalls to shovel manure on his farm, and plenty of work to do up there. And honestly, I enjoyed a lot of it. But yeah, I was spent a lot of time working on his farm, with him, shoveling sawdust, putting up 80-pound bales of hay, you name it, all that goes with raising. Uh, he usually had about 15. He started with Morgan horses, and he finished with saddlebred horses.
Nice.
But he was my hero. I miss him. I mean, the last 18 years of my life, I spent 200 plus days a year with him on the road. A lot of traveling, a lot of sharing hotels and airplane seats. Um, just my best friend. I really miss him.
Yeah, we all miss him. That's for sure. It was when we lost him, it was the world lost a great person. Truly, and I mean that. Just and you are right. I live by the same motto. I'm always doing something. I can't sit stationary. I have to be doing something. And my wife gets so mad at me because I don't sit idle very long. And then it's crazy. Yeah, Doc, we do miss him dearly. Doc says he's one hell of a man. That he was. What's going on, Brian Roof? So how did Woody come up with the ideal of honoring Gold Star families?
Well, originally it started with Gold Star mothers. He worked for about 10 years before Gold Star families ever crossed his lips. He was a very strong advocate for Gold Star mothers. Started with West Virginia Gold Star mothers. He had a close relationship with many of them, and that sort of led him to, well, I think there should be a national monument for Gold Star mothers in Washington, D.C. He would always say there's 1,200 memorials and monuments in D.C. for every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but nothing for these mothers who have sacrificed a loved one. So I remember being with him at black tie dinners at the New York Stock Exchange, sitting at a table with the owner of FedEx and the owner of Raytheon, and he's working them for money for this idea, and he carried the drawings with him. It would have been about a $2 million memorial in his mind, which meant it's probably a $20 million memorial because it was pretty extravagant. But he carried around that drawing for probably 5, 6, 7 years, trying to get someone on board. And he was speaking about that at a talk that he gave in Parkersburg, West Virginia, about what would it be about 12 or 13 years ago now. And he was giving a talk, and the talk wasn't about Gold Star mothers. It was his traditional talk about patriotism and the flag and love of country and service to your country. And he just thought crossed his mind. I'm in this town. There was a National Guard unit or reserve unit that lost a lot of boys and girls and boys, I suppose, in Vietnam. And so it just crossed his mind to ask to the crowd there that he was speaking to raise your hand if you were a Gold Star mother. And a few did raise their hand. Well, he finished his talk, and he turned around to pack his bags up. And when he turned back around, there was one gentleman left in the auditorium, and he was about 10 or 15 steps, from him. And Woody could tell he was sort of shaken up, and he said, "Is there something I can help you with?" And all he said was, "Dads cry too," and he had tears. He had tears coming down both cheeks, and I guess it hit him like a brick in the forehead. I mean, it just really. He said on his way home that night, he scolded himself, raked himself over the coals a few times. How could I have done this? How could I have not realized that the entire family suffers just the same as mom And he would always say, Mom, of course, suffers the most. I don't think anybody can argue that. That's her. That's her boy. That's her daughter. That she probably suffers the most. But in reality, the whole family suffers. So he went home, and that week he called an architect somewhere. I have no idea where found the architect, but he got with that architect and designed the Gold Star Families Memorial Monument with the cutout of the soldier silhouette that you see, today in the monuments across the country. And they were working on the West Virginia State Veterans Cemetery, and they asked him to be part of that group, part of that committee. The governor and a few other folks from West Virginia Department of Affairs, et cetera, were working on the cemetery. And so he proposed that part of the cemetery be, your Purple Heart monument, and let's do a 9/11 monument, but let's also include this Gold Star Families Memorial Monument. And in the meantime, he snail mailed me, which he was famous for, all the way up to the end. He snail mailed, and he called me and say, I just stuck something in the mail to you. Call me when you get it, and we'll discuss it. And so I remember getting this drawing in the mail of the monument that he designed with this architect. About 15 foot wide, about 6 foot tall, all black granite from India, with the soldier silhouette cut out, and said Gold Star Families Memorial Monument. So yeah, there you go. Thanks, Sam.
Let me make Sam big
Yeah.
screen so he can talk about that.
Yeah, there we go. So this came as a drawing to me in the mail, and I opened it, and of course I called him right away, and I said, "Well, Peppo, tell me about this." And he said, "Well, this will recognize all Gold Star families, and will give them a place to go and remember their loved one, remember their hero." And I'm thinking to myself, it's probably already been done before, but he just, he doesn't know it. So I said, well, hold on here while you're on the phone. I'm going to Google it. And he was a big fan of Google. Believe it or not, he was pretty savvy on the iPhone. He texted, emailed, the whole bit, all the way, even at 98 years old, he's pretty tech savvy. But I said, well, let me Google it while we're talking. And so I Googled Gold Star Families Memorial Monument. Well, nothing came up. I said, Peppo, this is an original idea. This has not been done before in our country. And so we both got super excited at that point. And in the background of all of that, we had started a nonprofit. He and I were on an airplane coming back from somewhere, and he had a couple checks in his pocket. One was a love offering from a church, and the other one was $1,500 or so from another speaking engagement. And I began thinking to myself, and I asked him, I said, Peppo, you don't need that money. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with this? We should do something. And he said, well, like they always say, well, then go do it. So I said, okay, well, we're going to start a nonprofit. We don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to start a nonprofit. So I got my brother, he had a law degree, and I asked him to get the 501c3 for us. And so that's all happening in the background at this same time. And so I just feel like it was a God thing. God just opened both of those doors simultaneously, and said, you got your nonprofit, you got your mission, go do it. And here we are 12 years later with almost 150 of those Gold Star Family Memorial Monuments across the country. He was there to dedicate about 100 of them. He made it a mission and a promise he was going to attend every groundbreaking and every dedication. And by year 3 or 4, we just couldn't keep up. He and I could be in 3 states in 3 days and still not be able to keep up. So we ended up not doing the groundbreakings anymore because we had so many dedications to do. So it's just such an incredible ride, and um, he left it very clear. He left a very clear mission for us to continue, and that's what we're doing at the Woody Williams Foundation.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how many of those have gone up. All right, Candace, we'll see you later.
I am so sorry, Brent. I wanted to hang out, like family first.
Good to see
Sorry.
you.
Have a
Absolutely.
wonderful night, and I hope it's a great podcast.
Absolutely.
It will be. See you, Candace. Well, tell your dad we're praying for him and his sister.
Will do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's fix this. Let's see which one. There we go. I like that better.
Yeah. So the back of those monuments are all different. The committee gets together and they get to choose basically what they want on the back. It can't be like I can't put a picture of me on the back, right? So it's generic photos and stuff. And on the one that I got from Brent here, you can see a little bit that each panel is a little different, and there's a bunch of different things that they can pick as far as the theme for that panel, and then there's photos and stuff that they can pick as well. So every monument is the same on the front, but they're different on the back.
That's nice. Yeah, I was going to ask you how many of those were nationwide, but you already answered that, about 150. If you haven't seen one, you need to go check them out because they are amazing. They look amazing in real life. I think I've seen 2 or 3 in different areas over in the last however many years that I've been going to different veterans or different veteran memorials. Now, tell us an unknown fact. A lot of people don't know this, but your grandfather was honored with a ship naming after him. Now, what's cool about that is he's the only non-naval personnel to have a ship named after him. Is that correct?
That's changed since.
Well, at the time. Was that right?
Yeah. Non-naval personnel. I'm not sure about that. Because I don't know that. Yeah, I know there are other Marines. He was, perhaps it was the only living Marine, where a person was living at the time that the ship was. Now that had only happened about 11 times before, because I got some pushback. Well, they don't name ships for people that are living, and I got that pushback from Senator Manchin's office and Senator Capito's office. And I said, no, that's not true. At that time, there were 11 others that had been named for living persons, whether they're presidents or senators or what have you. So that might have been, maybe that's where that came from, was, he was only the 12th person living when they named a ship. Typically it's something that's done, after someone passes.
Okay, maybe I got it. Yeah, maybe I got that. Somebody might have told me that wrong, because I was like, that's pretty neat if he was the only person that wasn't in the Navy that had a ship named after him. So that's super cool. Now tell us a little bit about Valor coins and pins, and how many. Well, let's tell us a little bit about that, then we'll go into a little bit more detail.
Sure. Yeah, we sort of started by accident. Of course, I was making Woody's challenge coins. We're having them made for him. And then when the monument came to be, we started making lapel pins in the shape of the monument, which you see those all over the place now. I can go to Dallas, Texas to a motorcycle event and see several guys with those on. So it was a pin that we were producing thousands of them, and still are. So I went to my brother and I said, of course we're trying, it's a nonprofit, it's a new nonprofit. We're trying to save money. And I said, if I could start a company and we went directly to the factory, we could save about $2,500 a year just on these pens. And he handed a lot of coins out. He handed coins out like candy. So we were buying a lot of coins and a lot of pens. And so yeah, Brian and I just decided, well, let's do that, and we'll save. We can save the foundation quite a bit of money. So we came up with Valor coins and pens about 7 years ago. And once the word got out, of course, a lot of people had already seen Woody's coins, so they knew, the product that we could have made was of high quality, a good quality product. And really, just one thing led to the other. So we thought, well, if we're going to do this, then let's do it in a way that we can still benefit the Woody Williams Foundation. So we decided to continue the business, continue to grow it. It's grown like I've never imagined it would that we would be this busy and have the success that we're having. But we just decided, well, we'll continue to give proceeds to the Woody Williams Foundation, and that's part of our business model, and that's what we made as part of our business model. So.
So
yeah,
how many coins per date have you done?
Up to date?
Yeah, roughly up to date.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, 2,000 maybe.
That's a lot of coins.
I'd say 2,000. Different coins. And Sam's designed about at least 3 dozen of those. 40 or 50 maybe.
Probably somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Me and Sam have talked about it a few times that I'm going to have him design a coin for HomeFront Sitrep, and we were talking about doing a business card style, which is one of your newest ones,
right? Yeah, that's got the really unique translucent painting. That background is a translucent blue paint, which is sort of a new product in the challenge coin industry, and the QR code. And I stole that idea from somebody else on this podcast. But yeah, the QR code is now that folks have seen it, I've done quite a few of those.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna have to do a QR code for HomeFront Sitrep too, like kind of go to like a link tree kind of thing, so they can go to all of our different platforms that we're on, because we're listed on quite a few different platforms, like babyboomer.org or babyboomer.org, Parade Deck, and everywhere else that we're at. So we'll definitely have to do like a link tree QR code so everybody can go there and see all these different things. But I do like the square business card look on a challenge coin. I think I got a few of yours in here as well. I know I got Deeds in here. I got
Mark's.
Is it Mark's coin there? I don't
That's
know.
a lethal weapon.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
Throwing star.
Yeah, we had guys get stopped at the airport after Mark had given them to some of the teammates, and they're like, "You can't come through here with this." And they're like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, it's got that point on there." He's like, "Yeah, but it's not pointed. It's rounded, so you're good." But yeah, it's you definitely do some damage with it.
Oh yeah, you could definitely hold that in your hand and do some damage with it. That's
for sure. But yeah, they let the guy go once they realized it was a challenge coin and nothing more than a challenge coin. But yeah, it's yeah.
Now, who designed that one? Did you design that?
I did.
Yep.
Oh man. So
Willis, here's one you can be proud of. Brent did this one, I don't know, a year or so ago.
Yeah. I've seen that one.
That's one of my favorites.
Got a bottle opener, and then you
Looks
got
like
the little
took a bite out of it.
Eagle Globe Maker on the back. Yeah, you got somebody take a bite out of it up here. But what's cool about it is, this side it's crayons, and then on the other side, it's the 556 green tip.
Nice.
So
I love it. Yeah, I need that coin. I need somebody to give me that coin.
So
I know a guy.
I got a buddy of mine I got a buddy of mine that does a lot of speaking engagements, and he just bought a bunch off Brent to hand out to Marines in the crowd.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check in on some prices on some coins because I need some to fill up in here for sure. Now I've got several that my daughters have commandeered quite a few of my coins. I had one. Remember, when we were in Haiti, Sam, the commanding general of this of Southcom, I think it was. My youngest daughter has that coin. God, I got so many of them that they commandeered, and I just got a few down here. Yep, that one right there. Yeah,
Nice.
actually do.
Sweet.
I thought I had that one in here, but I don't. Yeah, I got like the Mighty Oaks coin. I got AT&T Veterans coin, Kentucky Department KDVA's coin, Purple Heart Homes, which is a looks like a casino chip, like a
poker chip,
like a poker chip. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got quite a few of them. I got a couple from the Roll Call Foundation, which this one, I don't know. Did you do the Roll Call Foundation?
Yeah. Don Barbie. Yeah. Is it Don's?
Let me take it. It's the square one. Did you do the square one?
Is it Don Barbier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So,
Matter of fact, I had lunch with him last week. I did. Yep, that's it. That's a good looking coin there.
it is a good looking coin. And on the
Proud
back,
of that one.
It's got the horse on the back.
Mm-hmm. It's a 3D UV overlay.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it.
Yeah, I had lunch with Don last week, designing another coin for him.
For the powwow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. Let's see. What else can we talk about here?
Let's go back to the monuments real quick because we mentioned that we mentioned that they're all over the place. If you go to Woody Williams Foundation, is it .org, Brent?
WoodyWilliams.org, right?
There's on the drop down. There's a thing that says monuments, and it shows you where all the monuments are within the United States and Guam. But it also shows ones that are in the works that are still raising money to get their monument in place. So that's all on the website that you can find that there to look in your area if there's one that's in the works or there's one that is actually already in place.
Yeah, I'm putting a link in chat just now. So you go to woodywilliams.org and you can go on there and see where these monuments are going. What a link is that under? Do you know?
It says it's on the drop down on monuments.
Oh, monuments,
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you click on that and it tells you where they're all at. So 184 active communities, 137 monuments installed, 47 monuments in progress, 50 states and 1 U.S. territory. Let's see.
Yeah. So if you keep scrolling down, it has a map of the United States, and then it has the stars, which are the ones that are already installed, and then it has like a blue and white dot for ones that are in progress. And if you scroll further down, it shows by state where everything is.
So yeah, here's the
there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do some zooming in. So stars are ones that are completed.
Correct.
Right. It's interactive.
Yeah, if you click on a star, you can bring it up.
All right, let's see. Let's do Kentucky. Let's do this one at Owensboro.
Yeah, that one's beautiful. It's on the river in their Veterans Park.
So
Woody was there for that dedication.
Woody was there for that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's still
loading. It was a great day.
We couldn't verify the security of your connection. That's good old Spectrum for you.
Yeah, but if you scroll down, Willis, more when you go back to that map page, it'll go alphabetical order by state, and they'll say which cities, towns that the monuments are in or projected to be in.
Nice.
Oh, there
I
you
guess
go.
that's a little video of it there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so installed monuments.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, each
That's
monument was meant to Woody. He was a storyteller. If you knew Woody or met him one time, you know he was a storyteller, and he wanted the monument to tell a story, and that's the reason for the panels that Sam was mentioning earlier. The Homeland panel is the first panel, and of course that's where we all start out. That's where we grow up in our homeland. Um, and each homeland panel is different because the one in Austin, Texas, has Texas bluebonnets and a shape of the Texas flag, etc. The one in Owensboro, for example, has probably a river scene and the Ohio River and things that are recognizable to Owensboro. So each one was tailored by the committee in that community to that community to start to tell the story. And then the next panel is the family panel. So we grew up and raised our family, and then eventually, many times, one of our family members goes off to serve our country and become a patriot. And that's the third panel, is the patriot, and most all of those are the same. Woody's design was the flag raising on Mount Suribachi on that patriot panel, and we sort of made it an unwritten rule that we'd really like to have that on every panel if you're doing a monument, just as a tribute to Woody. It's his design. Of course, he earned his Medal of Honor the same day that the flag went up, so it's the image is obviously uh, completely appropriate. And then you have the cutout of the silhouette, the lost loved one, and then the final panel is sacrifice. And those are all different. Each committee, in their minds, sacrifice looks different. So some have a caisson being a horse-drawn caisson from Arlington. Others may have just a folded flag or something more basic. But yeah, he wanted the monument to tell a story, and the people who design it and dedicate it to be able to tell that story. So that's what's behind that.
Yeah, I do like that. The ideal of that monument telling a story, because when you go there, when you go to a monument or a memorial, whatever you go to, you want to have that sense of I don't want to say belonging. It's not the word I'm looking for.
Personal connection to
Yeah,
the
like
community.
a personal
Mhm.
connection to it. That's like we had the Vietnam Traveling Wall here with the Cost of Freedom tribute. That, to me in itself, being of that era of the post 9/11 and before, I felt that connection more to the Cost of Freedom tribute than I did the Vietnam Traveling or the Vietnam Traveling Wall. But it was still a very humbling experience to go visit, go see, go volunteer at, and stuff like that. And it just, I think anytime you do a monument, you want it to tell a story. And I think the way they do with the Vietnam Traveling Wall and the Cost of Freedom tribute, it does tell a story, because it's got different placards that has different stories on that. And Deeds was out there, and I was telling a story about one of the Vietnam vets that pulled up to it. He was there for 3 days, never got out of his car because he couldn't get out of his car. And I was sitting there talking with him, and he said, "Well, it's a long walk." And at first I was like, "Well, I can have you jump in the golf cart and I can take you over there." And he goes, "No, you didn't understand. It's a long walk." And then I got it. I was like, "Oh, I got you." But he was there 3 days in a row and couldn't get out of his car. But he was there. He was still there. So definitely kind of very humbling. That's for sure. And what I met Woody, and talking about who I met Woody through Alex Newert.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
And that's how I met Woody the first time, and he was the one that was on the show talking about it. I knew it would come back to me. because we were talking about his business, the Tap Tavern Truck, and then we also talked about the Woody Williams Foundation, and it just, you know, he was somebody was telling me a story about your grandfather and how he received his Medal of Honor, because I never really dove into how he received it, and I was like, if that story's true, then that's badass. So if you don't know, you can research people, for the people out there watching and listening, you can research on Woody and see how he received his Medal of Honor. But he was an American badass, that's for sure. And that
no questions about it. I mean, even up, I was honored enough to get an invite to go to the evening parade with Woody and Brent and Kyle Carpenter, and who else was there? Barney Barnum, and Sergeant Major Crandall was supposed to be there, but he got sick, so he couldn't make it. But sitting there and knowing Woody and listening to talk about Iwo Jima, and you're like, man, this little dude just did all of this stuff, and he was a tiny guy, and I'm thinking back, 45, 46, 47, and him being even smaller because of being in the service and the things that he did on that island that earned him the medal. And Brent, when did you realize, I mean, I know he's your papa, you've always looked up to him, but when did you realize that he was an absolute badass?
Once I got in the military. Before I was in the military, just like, well, I'm the oldest of 5 grandsons, and I think the others would say the same until they were at least in their teens, probably for them in their 20s. But my being in the military at 18, 19, 20 years old, I learned pretty quickly. I knew he had the Medal of Honor. I knew what it was for. I knew President Truman presented it. I knew he carried, the flamethrowers and destroyed, Japanese pillboxes, but I didn't really get the gravity of the whole thing until I was actually in the military, and probably not until I was actually in combat. Because I remember on the side of my, we had a Cracker Box Humvee with a big red cross target on the side of it.
Yep.
Should add both sides. But I remember riding. I was on the passenger side and riding above the door, just a tribute to my grandfather. But so probably wasn't even really until I was in combat did I really get it. Good question.
So the story, one of the stories I heard is that he almost didn't make it in the military because at the beginning his height was what was keeping him out of the military. So tell us a little bit about that, because his tenacity and his resilience to fight it, and then was able to get into the military.
Yeah, he was actually turned down the first time he went to enlist in the Marine Corps. He was turned down. The height requirement was, I believe, 5'8". He was 6'6", and the recruiter, he didn't even get his paper handed to him. He just looked at him and said, "I can't take you." As he walked up to the desk to hand the recruiter the paper, he could tell he just wasn't tall enough. And so he was pretty bummed out about that. But he was also determined if he couldn't go in the Marine Corps, he wasn't going in the service. He maybe could have gotten in the Navy or the Army. We'll never know that, because he was never willing to do that. He just he had decided from the very beginning. He saw those Marines in town in their dress blues, and they were getting all the pretty girls, and they were opening doors for him, and all this crazy stuff. So there you go. So there was no question he wasn't going any other direction. But the recruiter looked him up once the height requirement changed. He didn't know. Of course, I guess they weren't getting the newspaper. Fox News wasn't wasn't on
Right.
broadcasting about the height requirement, but the recruiter came to look him up and told him, hey, they lifted the height requirement,
So the recruiter tracked him down.
he did.
That
Yeah.
See,
is,
Willis wouldn't have made it in either, Brent, if the height requirement was still there.
yeah, I wouldn't, because I'm only 5'7", so I'm only an inch taller than Woody, your
Right.
grandfather there. I wouldn't have made it in either, but hey, I did all right at the Marine Corps. I can't complain. But no, yeah, your grandfather, man, just hearing the stories on like how he got his Medal of Honor, bro, that story is badass. Just take it, because he got shot. He got shot first, and
Got shrapnel.
was it
He got
shrapnel?
Yeah.
Okay, so he got shrapnel, and then he turned around and just laid waste to 5, 6, 7 different pillboxes with his flamethrower. That's the story that I heard. I was like, dude, that's badass right there, because you just had your flamethrower, and he just yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, wide open, a flamethrower only lasts about 70 seconds if you have it wide open. So he doesn't know. He never did know. Just couldn't remember. I mean, he just basically probably blacked it out and wiped it out of his mind. But most people that I've talked to that know anything about flamethrowers say it would have probably been 5 or 6 or 7 flamethrowers, because there were 7 bunkers, 7 pillboxes that he took out, and you wouldn't do that with one flamethrower. So that meant you drop that one off your back and you crawl back to the rear and pick up another one, 70 pounds full of liquid, and go back and do it again. So he could never remember how many times he went back. He did say one thing. I'm pretty sure that I didn't look back and say, "Hey, one of you Marines, bring one of those up here to me." He always joked about that. That didn't happen. He went back and got each one as he ran out.
Yeah, and from if he didn't do that, then they wouldn't have been able to advance like they did on that beach. That's phenomenal.
That was short of the first airfield, and once we got hold of that first airfield, and the flag went up on the same day, the momentum really changed. That was the first time the American flag had gone up on foreign soil, and it had been a long time coming. A lot of soldiers and Marines and sailors had passed by then, so that was definitely the momentum shift.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, once that flag was raised, definitely the momentum shifted in our favor. And your grandfather was part of history. I mean, that's phenomenal, just to have that experience with him after he after he got out of the military. You were born to be raised in his legacy, and then now you're carrying on his mission, which he was very passionate about. And he was very humble too. When I met him, he was very humble. He was not one of these people that, I'm so and so, and he talked to everybody. He was very humble, down to earth, just amazing person. And I'm honored to know you as well, because like I said, I knew him, not like super personal, but I met him a few times, and him being a Marine, I'm being a Marine, we kind of got that brotherhood, and he was just a very down to earth, humble person. And I love what he's doing with Gold Star families and doing the monuments for Gold Star families, because a lot of times in the veteran community, Gold Star families get shunned.
And it wasn't until recent years that, I mean, even with Woody, it wasn't until recent years that people started talking about the Gold Star family, right? It was always Gold Star Mother. Yeah. Even today, if you look on the calendar, it says Gold Star Mothers and Family Day, right? But we don't talk about the siblings either. You don't think that they're suffering. There's I don't know that feeling, but I have met enough siblings to know to understand that the focus, right, is on that deceased service member, and a lot of them seem like they're forgotten until some event comes around or someone starts honoring the family. I mean, Kentucky just passed it a few years ago for the Gold Star sibling sticker on the car. Ohio was the same way. Tennessee was the same way. We used to say Gold Star family, that's it, or mother, and now there's a sibling one as well. But yeah, it's just you talk it all the time, about someone having a servant's heart, Willis, and I don't know anybody that has more of a servant heart than Woody did. I mean, his entire time in the service. Well, he was a corporal, correct, Brent, when he received the medal, right? And he retired as a chief warrant officer 4. Now he stayed in, and then he went and worked in the VA for a while, for like a long while, serving other veterans. So I mean, there's no way. I mean, I don't know if I could do it. I mean, that takes a lot of compassion. That takes a lot of heart. That takes a lot of determination on everybody's behalf. And then he's out there fighting for the Gold Star families when nobody else is.
Yeah. So Miss Jennifer Gilpin, welcome. And she said Woody was a kind and genuine hero, is what Miss Jennifer Gilpin says. Yep. And then Doc, aka Thomas Reardon, said Brent's a hell of a guy, honored to know him. So there's a couple good compliments there. No, Sam, you are right. I do talk about servant's heart quite a bit. And Woody was one of those that had a servant's heart to the day he died. If he was still living right now, he would still be out doing what he always did. And Sam, you say you don't have a servant's heart, but you do. You do. You might not go to the aspect of working at the VA and stuff like that, but whenever you go to events and you speak, you do have a servant's heart because your story resonates with a lot of the newer generation. And just like me, I got a servant's heart. I knew that the day I signed the dotted line and took that oath. And that's like with this podcast. That's the podcast. The reason I do this podcast is to help other veterans, and it does help me. Like I'm selfish to the point where this is like my therapy, where I come on here and I get to talk to other veterans, get to meet and talk to them and hear their stories and how they're helping other veterans and they're wherever they're at. And it's like with Brent here, with doing the Woody Williams Foundation, keeping that alive because that was something that his grandfather and him started together. And now he's doing Valor Coins and Pins as well to keep money going into there so they can provide these monuments for the Gold Star families out there. It's amazing. And I think, it started out as Gold Star mothers. And then, now people are starting to realize, hey, the family served as well. Because I know, like with you had kids when you were in, right, Sam? You had kids.
Yeah.
So your kids and your wife, when you were deployed, they were home serving, just not in the same capacity as you. And luckily for me, I got married very early on in the Marine Corps, but me and her got divorced very early on in the Marine Corps, and we didn't have kids. But if your parents, your siblings back home, your wife, your children, they all serve, and people overlook them. Like you said, Sam, people overlook them all the time. And I think that it needs to be more prominent, where people, because I heard a story. What are you saying, Candace? I heard a story that a Gold Star widow just buried her husband. She was still on base, living on base. 3 days after they buried her husband, they kicked her and the kids off base.
Yep.
I saw that.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Why would they do that? Why? I get security reasons, but her husband just paid the ultimate sacrifice, and you say, all right, you got to get off base 3 days later. that ain't right.
Willis, we had an event a number of years ago, and we had a general as one of our presenters that had no clue whatsoever what a Gold Star family was. This was only 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking Afghanistan had been going on for 13 years. Iraq had been going on for 11 years. And this general doesn't know what a Gold Star family is. We had to explain to him what a Gold Star family is with Gold Star families. As a matter of fact, Woody was at that event, and we had to explain that to him. Brett and Woody came to it, and we had to explain it to him.
See, that blows my mind. It blows my mind. And yeah, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way at all. Gold Star families, their son, daughter, husband, wife paid the ultimate sacrifice, and people want to shun them. Nah, that to me, that don't sit right. That's not kosher. Yeah. Not kosher at all. So to see an organization like the Woody Williams Foundation that focuses on those, Candace is driving so slow to respond. Gold Star families really need more recognition and helping people understand who they are. No, I agree with you, Candace. Gold Star families do need that recognition. And I'm glad to see states are slowly implementing different laws to recognize Gold Star families. I just think it needs to be faster. Unfortunately, it's moving like the VA and taking forever to go where it needs to go.
We still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but with Woody's vision, the foundation's vision, and the foundation continuing with Woody's vision of getting a monument in every state is happening. Trying to get one on either the National Mall or the DC area is moving, right? So the one that did they put the big one over in West Virginia yet, or is that still in the works, Brent?
It's there. It's on the Capitol grounds. Yeah, it's 150% size, about 50% larger than all the rest of them.
So
we wanted them to have the biggest one.
Yeah, to have those in prominent places like that, letting the family know that they're not forgotten. There's one in Frankfurt at the Capitol. If you're pulling up from the front of the Capitol, just as soon as you turn to the right, it's right there. And when you're looking from the back side of it, you've got the Capitol in the background. And it'd be nice if every state capitol would have one on their ground somewhere, right? To let the families know that the state truly cares, but it's great to have these communities. We have one right here in Northern Kentucky at Kentucky Veteran Cemetery North, in the cemetery, and then of course the one in Owensboro, there's one in, I think, Shelbyville or over that way.
Is there one in Louisville? I think, is there one in Louisville?
Jeffersontown, the Veterans Park.
Yeah.
Right underneath the helicopter.
Yeah, but having these communities do this to honor the families, that way they don't have to travel to the Capitol. Because if you look at Montana, some of these communities that have to to travel to the Capitol, it's a 2-day trip for them.
Yeah,
even some of the people from Western Kentucky that have to come to the Capitol, it's a full day trip to see that memorial monument. But they have one in Owensboro that they can stop at.
Yeah, Candace said there's one in Radcliffe too, she thinks.
Yep.
That's at the Veterans Cemetery, right?
That's correct.
That's the Carl Brashear Veteran Cemetery.
That sounds right. Yeah.
I think it is. I think it's the Carl Brashear. I met his son. We were at the downtown Louisville for what were we there for? Like the Paralympic games that they had in Louisville. I think it's what it was. Because it was like. But anyway, his son, we had a booth down there, and he came up and introduced himself. I was like, dude, I just watched your dad's movie the other night. It was so cool to meet his son. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. But and Jennifer says it's beautiful. I'm assuming she's talking about the one in J-Town, maybe, or the one in Radcliffe. Not for sure.
I mean, they all are. And, you know, like Brent has said, and we've all said, each monument is kind of personalized to the community that they're in. You know, the one at the state capitol is, you know, catered to the state of Kentucky. So it does give that personal feel for the people in the area, you know, and it gives a sense of belonging, you know, to those Gold Star families, that they're not being forgotten, that their loved ones are being remembered by somebody, you know, and it may not have their names on there, right? But they know that represents that their fallen, you know, loved one.
Yeah, I'll be in Frankfurt on Tuesday. And I'm probably going to swing by the memorial up there and take some pictures of it and post it on the HomeFront Sitrep page, just so people can see it. The one, especially the one here in Kentucky. So if you're out there, whatever state you're looking in, if you have one of these monuments, memorials in your town, take pictures in there and tag Woody Williams Foundation, Valor Coins and Pins, HomeFront Sitrep, Sam Deeds. If you follow Sam Deeds there, tag us so we can see it. If you don't mind, that'd be awesome to see those monuments wherever you're at, whatever part of the country. Make sure you also tag the city that you're in when you do that too. I think that'd be pretty cool to honor Woody Williams that way. And you could probably hashtag Woody Williams Foundation as well. So
Mark just sent me a picture from the one in Hawaii.
That's in Hawaii?
Oh yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, he was just there. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
cool. Woody was there for that dedication too.
I bet you were there too, wasn't you?
I didn't make that one. No, for the groundbreaking and some of the fundraising, but we tried to take turns. I was pretty fortunate to get 90% of them, but I did let a couple slip by for
nice.
Another grandson.
If a community wanted to get a memorial monument, what is the process of doing that?
Contact the foundation, woodywilliams.org, and basically we have what I've always called a recipe book. We have the recipe. The recipe's been reproduced about 140 times successfully, and we'll walk you right through it. We've got some staff people there that will take your call and give you some guidance. It's typically about $60,000 to $80,000 to raise the money for the full size monument. There is a half monument that has two panels, still with the cutout of the silhouette. It's beautiful too.
Yeah, there's one in Fairfield. There's one in Fairfield, Ohio.
That's right.
That we were there for the dedication. We weren't able to jump in for it, but we did bring down the honor member flag and stretched it out behind the monument. It's just the first. Where did I do that?
That's one of the first ones we did.
So it's just these. Yeah, it's just these first two panels for the half size one. But yeah, it's still. I mean, the meaning is still there.
Yes, the meaning is still there. I put the link in there for them to contact you in chat there, and it's up on the screen right now. So if you're in a community and you want to talk about getting one of these in your community, the link's right there in chat, and it's up on the screen right now, so you can contact the Woody Williams Foundation and start the process of talking about getting one in your community. If you're a mayor and you want it, reach out. That's how you do it. And preferably, we don't want the families reaching out. If you're a Gold Star family, you probably want somebody from your community to reach out and get this. Or if you are a Gold Star family and you can raise the funds to get it, then they would be honored to put one in your community. So
somebody's got to get the ball rolling, whether it's the Gold Star family or it's someone that's in the leadership of that community. As long as that ball gets rolling, then you get it approved for a site and everything else. And a lot of times you can find a contractor that will come in and donate the footer or whatever.
That's right.
So it saves some of that cost. But yeah, I mean, it takes everybody. Honestly, it takes a village to get one of these going and to get it in your community and to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we have back here at home.
So
Yeah.
Doc just asked if there
Okay.
was one in Cave Hill.
No, there isn't. That'd be a great place to put one. We've talked to some Louisville folks downtown about putting one down on the river, and there's been some interest, but Cave Hill would be a great location. It's a great idea, Doc.
I don't know about putting one down on the river in Louisville. And the reason I say that is because of the young thugs that are running the river walk there. It would have to be somewhere that was patrolled pretty heavily so it wouldn't get damaged.
I tell you, Louisville Slugger Field wouldn't be a bad place to have it, just because they do the fundraising event there every year for the Gold Star family. So somewhere on that property, would not be a bad place to do it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to do it out there. So I'm looking at the website right now. So there's Owensboro has one, Fort Knox has one, J-Town has one, Crestwood has one, Shelby County has one, Kentucky State Capitol has one, Lexington has one, North Monument, and that's up there by UD's, right?
Yep, correct.
And then it looks like Somerset's talking about getting one. Survivors Day at Churchill Downs. Are they going to do one at Churchill Downs?
Is that the traveling one, Brent?
That's the traveling. Yeah, that's the event for Gold Star families.
Okay. So
they'll have several hundred families out there for that event.
All right, so that looks like the outreach events. There's a couple of them. So you got one Survivors Day at Churchill Downs, TG IGT motorcycle ride, Gold Star Family Day at the ballpark, and then the cause is greater than I Kentucky. So that's all up on the river. So that's pretty neat. That is pretty neat.
There's one in Eastern Kentucky too.
Yeah, Greenup County. I just saw that. Yeah,
right.
Greenup County. That's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. Well, is there anything
wild ride?
Yeah. I mean, I think like we said earlier, it needs to be one in every state capital. Dee's hit it right on the head. I think every state capital needs to have it, and then if it could be put into communities like Dee said in Montana, where they have to travel so far, I think that would be pretty neat to have in a community, especially if there's a Gold Star family in that community. I think that would be pretty neat, so they wouldn't have to travel all the way to wherever to go to visit.
Yeah, I know the one that was done up here at Kentucky Veteran Cemetery North had one or two Gold Star families as like co-chairs, or however they word it, but they were part of the planning along with the members of the cemetery and some other prominent people in the area.
Heck yeah.
Woody actually had 3 goals when we started this foundation, and they were still his 3 primary goals until he passed. The first one was we have one in all 50 states, and we did accomplish that before he passed. The second was that there be one on each capital ground. That every state capital would have one. And then the last one was Washington, D.C. That was a big one for him, and we're working on it. That's it's in progress. It's been in progress for 5 years, but like everything in D.C.,
it takes a while.
I mean, in D.C., they're like, we're running out of room on the mall. No, you're not. There are plenty of greens. There's plenty of green space there, and that's the problem they're having with the Global War on Terror, memorial monument is, it can't be on the mall because we don't have space. They just don't want to give up the space. That's the problem. So they want to put it across the river somewhere. But hopefully they can get the Gold Star Memorial Monument on the mall somewhere for all the families to see, right there with all the other memorials and monuments for Korea, Vietnam, World War II.
it would make sense for it to be there. I don't know why they would try to
Yeah.
put it somewhere across the river. Yeah, it needs to be right where the rest of them are. I mean, there's plenty of green space there. I mean, there's plenty of green
Oh, yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So it's just, if they want to relinquish control of that green space pretty much. But yeah. Yeah, it's been one of those great episodes.
We got off the topic of the coins kind of quick. I want to get back to that.
Yeah, I do too. I want to get back to the coins because you guys do so many coins. Because I see you post all the time about the coins that you're doing out there. If somebody wanted to reach out to you to have a coin made, how would they go about reaching out to you to have a coin made?
Several different ways. I mean, go through the website. That's probably the easiest way. ValorCoinsandPens.com. They can reach us through our Facebook page. Yeah, there's my phone number, 304-208-4254, or my email, Brent@ValorCoinsandPens.com.
So here is the website. I just put that in chat. And then I'm going to put your phone number here if it'll let me copy it. Might not. All right, I'll just type it in because it won't let me type. It won't let me copy it. 304-208-4254.
208-4254. Yeah, call me directly. That's fine. I might not, may be on the other line with another call, but I will, I promise I will call you back.
Leave a voicemail. Leave a voicemail.
Yeah, please.
And then
or text.
At Valor Coins and Pens.com is the email.
So Brent, while he's over there doing the type in and talking out loud about everything, what is a rough process? Let's not go through the entire step by step. What's a rough process look like for the designing of a coin?
So we do have a template online on our website. If you go to Valor Coins and Pens, you'll see a template there. I think it's on most every page, and that's a great place to start because it shows you basically two circles. It shows you the plating options that you have, the edging options, a rough idea of the quantity and the size that you want. And but if you don't have that, if you don't have anything to start with, I had a call today. A guy, I had no idea what I want on the front or the back, but here's my website. I think it was Flags to Remember was his website. So I just went to his website, and I mean, I can put it together enough art to get it started and get it in our artists' hands where they can work up a proof. I mean, they've taken my chicken scratch on a napkin and turned it into Picasso. So we've got some really good artists who can take what artwork I send or what the customer sends. Anything you have that we can start with ahead of time is great. But then from that point, we'll fine tune that proof between us. We may bounce that proof back and forth in a couple emails or maybe several emails. But then once we get the proof finalized, we'll pull the trigger on it and have the molds, or some refer them as dies. Those molds made. You have to have a mold made for a challenge coin, just like you do a quarter at the U.S. Mint. Before they mint a quarter, they have to have a mold for the front and a mold for the back to make any coin, and it's the same process. So we make those molds and dies, and then once you have your mold and you've paid for it, you own it. Any coins that, if you want to order 50 and then you come back next year and order 50 more, you still use your same mold because you own it. So you just pay for it one time. It's a one-time fee. And then the next time, if you ordered 50 more the following year, it's just the price of the coin and the shipping. So it's pretty simple process. Our pricing is not real complicated. We basically price per size per coin. We don't add, there's no extra charges because you get 12 colors, or you want an edge, or you want a 3D. We just don't do that. We just try to keep it simple. But that's it in a nutshell.
So if somebody like the die is wrong, right, after the coins were produced, like there was supposed to be a comma, there's not a comma, but they want the comma there. Is there a fixed fee, or do they have to buy a whole new die to get that fixed?
It depends on the level of the fix. I mean, if it says January 2024 and we want it to be February 2025, we'd have to make a new mold. If it was a comma, yeah, we could probably get that done for nothing. The factory would probably just, we've been working, we've got several factories, a couple U.S. factories, one in Seoul, South Korea, and then, of course, where most of the factories are in the world, in some part of China, Hong Kong or China. So, but we've been working with our factories for 7 years, same ones, and we've got a good rapport, good relationship with them. I went to Seoul last year and visited with our factory owner and our factory there in person. So yeah, we've got some good workmanship and people behind it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and I want everybody out there to understand that, Brent has the round template, but he does not just do round coins, right? We've already seen his business card. We saw the crayon one, but so for me, I've had people reach out to me and ask me to help with the design of their coin or something. So my process, and I told Willis earlier, but I start with a piece of paper, a drawing, or whatever, and get to wherever you need to be, and all that color is colored pencil. A lot of it is cut and paste from designs and stuff like that, and then you get your rendering back and you get it to where you want it, and this is the final product of that. It has the Yosemite Sam on the front. It has his name, it has the gunner, it has every single thing that is on that drawing that I did, it has on there. So everything's there, and it fits perfectly. And you just have to, for me, it took me a while to realize that, everything comes back in millimeters, right? So, and transferring it back to inches, because there was one coin we're like, oh yeah, this is what we want. And it arrived and we're like, this is not what we want. It was too small. And we took that same coin and just made it bigger, right? And of course you're paying your different die fee and everything like that. But once we realized to convert to inches, to realize how big it is or isn't, it has become an easier process for me and the people I have reaching out to me and asking me to help them or help their, design a coin for them or their loved one. That helicopter coin, Angie reached out to me and said, I want to do something special for Bob. And her and I went back and forth for probably a week before I even sent anything to Brent. And then I think it was probably a couple changes by the time I got it from Brent. We made 2-3 changes and it was done. And then, I was able to go out there and be part of the presentation. And I was actually asked to speak on the coin and present it to Bob, who is a Huey gunship pilot during Vietnam. So that's special to me. And, we just recently did a coin. I'm not going to share it because the organization isn't up and running yet. And I know Brent put it on his page, but it's got glow in the dark paint.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
So let me see. I can share the picture without.
I wonder if I might be able to pull it up here. Deeds.
Without giving away the organization, I can pull up there we go. So this, Brent sent a picture of the front of the coin and the back of the coin. And once the client received the coins, I asked him about, hey, how does it look like in the dark? He goes, man, I haven't even looked yet. And then this is the picture he sent me. Obviously, I got a terrible friggin', but I mean, the moon is glowing. The lights on the side of the boat is glowing. You can see the silhouettes of the guys up there, bow fishing. So, I mean, it's just something cool, unique. And I asked Brent, like, hey, can you do glow in the dark? Absolutely. So, I mean, and then the QR thing too. I received a coin from my son's godfather, who's still active duty Marine. It was their ball coin this year, and it had the QR code of the hotel and their unit, and they're functional. I sent that to Brent, and he's like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." And now he gave me his coin last Wednesday, and there has a QR code. I'm like, "Oh, look at that! That's pretty nice, huh?" So
it'll be glow in the dark on the next one.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can think of the design you want, it can be done. It doesn't have to be round. It doesn't have to be square. It doesn't have to be rectangular. It can be any shape, size, whatever. But Brent, is there an additional cost? So what is there a size limit to the die? And then at a certain size of the die, does the price increase for the die?
It does a little bit. I think probably the largest one we've done is 6 inches. But it wasn't double. It might have been 25 or 35% more than a typical 2-inch die. But a 2-inch die to a 2.5 to a 3, it's all the same price for the die. The mold's all the same price. So we get a price from the factory and we just pass it on. We don't upcharge it. It's already $100. So that's tough enough to swallow on the front end as it is. But so we just pass that on. But a 6-inch coin, the mold's probably going to be 150 instead of 100
per side,
something like
that.
Per side. That's right.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, because I want to do one. I guess kind of like the one that Sam showed earlier, the credit card one. That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing for HomeFront Sitrep. So we're definitely going to have to. Me and Sam is going to sit down and we're going to spitball some ideals because I definitely want the HomeFront Sitrep logo. And then on the back, I want probably one veteran at a time on the back of it with the Marine Corps EGA, and I don't know. We'll figure out some stuff.
I mean, you can even get crazy and put some diamonds in there if you want.
Diamond studded.
I need one of those coins too, Brent. So next time,
it's got Brent's info on the back, the Woody Williams Foundation stuff, and then he's talking about the edging. So this is that the rope? Yeah, that's the rope edging.
Yeah.
So you can get smooth, which is just obviously it's smooth, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the I like Brent's new one. It's got this nice little bevel cut to it on both sides. It gives a really good feel to the coin. I mean, I don't care. It stays on my wall. There's no way I can carry all these things like on my wall behind me.
You would need like a duffel bag, bro, like a sea bag.
It'd be too heavy. I tell you, there is one. I might break off here real quick and go get it. That Mark brought back for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab it. Hold on.
Yeah, go grab it.
Yeah, I tell folks all the time, like Sam said, if you can dream it or imagine it, we can make it a coin. I mean, it's pretty incredible the detail. You put 18 different colors on a challenge coin. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And if it's not done by a machine, they'll drop the ink in by hypodermic needle.
Yeah, I've seen
that tedious process. Yeah,
I've seen that process on. I think it was on the like YouTube or something where
Brent had it on his Facebook page a while back ago too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
going through some of the process.
So it was pretty neat because I seen the machine doing it, and then I seen another one where they were using the hypodermic needle and putting the inlaying the colors that way. And I'm assuming once they get all the colors in place, then they bake it in. I'm assuming like heat it up.
Yep. Right.
That's right. Show us that coin, Sam.
Yeah, I'm going to give a little backstory to it first.
What's up, Jeremy Daniels?
So Mark went to Hawaii, and we have a mutual friend who was in the Army stationed at Schofield Barracks. And I asked Mark, I said, hey, is there any way you can get, we have a teammate out there too, our teammate or, the guy you're staying with, to take you on Schofield and just get a coin from Schofield Barracks for our friend. And he's like, sure. Well, he sends me this photo of this. I mean, it stands up on its own. So
No, yeah.
it's freaking huge. So you got the Ultimate Warrior on the front, but on the back it says presented to the Ultimate Warrior. Thank you for your service, and it has a bunch of different units on it. And then he sends me the picture from the side. Right. So I'm going to do a comparison here.
Dude, that's a thick coin.
So here's Brent's, right?
Holy
I'm like,
cow.
what are you doing with that dump truck bumper? And how are you going to get it back from Hawaii? So then the next day he's like, hey, by the way, I got you one too. He comes back with 3 of these things. I said, I hope you're putting those in your carry-on under your seat, because if you put them in the overhead bin's going to break.
Right.
That's the biggest coin. That's the biggest, thickest coin I've ever seen in my life. I thought when Brent gave me this, teacup holder here, I'm like, man, what are you supposed to do with that? How you carry that in your pocket? And then Mark comes back from Hawaii with this thing, and I mean, seriously, I could put this under my truck and jack it up and have it stuck up in there. I mean, that thing's huge. I mean, who carries that in their pocket and says, hey, appreciate you, thank you for your service? What commander's out there walking around with this thing in their pocket?
Well, you wouldn't be buying no drinks if you showed that one up at a bar.
No, good Lord.
True.
You just stand them up.
Yeah, you slam that down on a bar.
You just friggin' stand them up on. He may not stand on my free. Look at him. He's just friggin' free standing on my cup.
That's crazy.
Weapon.
I mean, seriously, yeah.
Yeah, that's a weapon.
So I mean, you can obviously. I mean, you can do anything you can imagine with a challenge coin, and it just depends on how much you want to spend and what you want it to look like. And there's one coin. Matter of fact, that one I just showed, we went back and forth probably, I don't know, 15, 20 times. Not the Ultimate Warrior one, the glow in the dark one. We went back and forth probably 10 or 15 times just to get it exactly how the client wanted it. Right. And it's all about what they want. It's not what you think you want, especially me. I'm like, man, if this was mine, I'd do it right now. But then you have to get it back to that person and be like, okay, is this what you're thinking? Because some people can't verbalize what they want in a coin.
Right.
Some people don't.
Don't mention any names.
I mean, this one,
Right.
Again, you got some people that just can't verbalize what they want, and you have to try to be the mind reader, and you have to try to figure out what they want. And it's like, okay, I got it. I think I got it. And then you change the rendering, you change your picture, and all of a sudden it's like, yes, that's what I want. Okay, that's all you had to say. Well, I didn't know how to verbalize it. And there's a lot of people out there that aren't artistic, that truly don't. They're very intelligent people. They just can't verbalize.
Yeah, can't articulate.
And they have a vision, but they don't know how to tell somebody else that vision, right? So
yeah. But it's like a lady I met the other day at the Vietnam Traveling Wall. We were talking because I do design some logos and stuff like that on just doing it because I can. And somebody had sent her to me and said, hey, this is kind of what I want. So I designed some stuff for her and sent it to her. And she goes, no, that's not what I'm thinking. And she said, I can better tell you in person than I can, write it down and tell you. Yeah. So when I met her at the wall, she's like, this is what I want. So she wanted a rising phoenix holding Excalibur like it was pulling out of the stone. But she wanted it more as a watercolor painting is what she wants her logo to be. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense. But I don't know why she couldn't write it down and tell me. But I was like, well, that makes sense. So you want like a rising phoenix pulling Excalibur out of the stone. You want just a tip of the stone showing. And she said, yeah, that's what I want. So we're in the process of, getting that. I'm not very savvy with watercolors, but I've got my youngest daughter who's a hell of an artist, and my niece that's another hell of an artist that I got them helping me create it because watercolors is not my thing. But we're working on it, and hopefully we can get her logo the way because she's starting a nonprofit, and it's going to be her logo. So I'm super excited about that because I think it'll be pretty neat. But No,
Yeah.
I love what you guys do at Valor Coins and Pins. I love the mission of the Woody Williams Foundation, and I'm honored to have you on to come talk about what you guys are doing and how you're carrying on your grandfather's legacy, because I think it's something that is needed in the veteran community, my friend, for sure.
Absolutely. So I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else that you want to hit on before I let you go? Because I know my wife is about to start tapping on the floor upstairs.
Mine's already gone to bed. She didn't even peek in and say, "I love you, good night."
Dang.
No, I don't think so. I just want to say thanks to both of you. This was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Really appreciate it. Appreciate both your time. Sam's he's put so much time and effort into some of the coins that we've done. Super grateful. Sam's a dear friend, and I appreciate this opportunity. Really do.
Hey, you're welcome, and I'm gonna connect you via email with the other veteran podcasters that I do, that I hang out with, talk with, and we're gonna try to get you on there as well to talk about Valor Coins and Pins and also the Woody Williams Foundation as well. So I'm gonna be doing that here probably tonight, if not tomorrow, and I'll get that rolling so we can get you on some more podcasts to talk about it. So. But it was my honor, mine and Candace. I know she's not here; she's probably still watching. But it was our honor to have you on, and I can't wait to, see you in person again, because I know it's been a minute. I guess it was Veterans Day last year when last time I saw you, so almost a year ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll be. I'll be involved with Veterans Day this year too. The parade. Wayne Hettinger's doing a big parade for Veterans Day here in Louisville. I think they're bringing in like 4 different counties coming from 4 different directions. We've got Medal of Honor recipient Doc Don Ballard, who will be the Grand Marshal. So the focus of the parade this year is military medics, which will be pretty cool. But so hope to see you out there for that. That'd be good.
Yeah, I know.
Doc Ballard's got a truly amazing story too. Navy corpsman, and then went to the Army or the National Guard or Reserves and got commissioned and made it all the way to Colonel. So
Nice.
it's funny, I still call him Doc, right? But he's a retired colonel. So it's, that piece of being a Navy corpsman, especially for Marines, just holds great honor for sure. I'm here today because of my corpsman and only because of my corpsman.
Docs are docs. They're always
Doc Ballard's a great guy. I've known him for a while too. So I've been fortunate enough, especially through Brent and meeting a lot of these guys. Brent had me a couple of years ago. We did the Kentucky Derby and the Oaks, and was fortunate enough to have Sal Genta. And Brent's like, "Oh, you're gonna be a security," but no, it was a good time. We had fun. It was those 4 of us out there at the Oaks and the Derby, and we had a blast. And it's an honor to be friends with Brent, and he's included me in a lot of stuff that if it wouldn't have been through him, I wouldn't have done it. He got me reconnected with one of my old battalion commanders who ended up being the commandant. And then we went to his retirement together, and as soon as he saw us, he's like, "Oh, I know you guys." So, but no, it's fun. It's great. I mean, I bitch and complain sometimes about some of these coins that I'm designing for people, and it's like, "Oh, I'm done. I can't do this no more." And then all of a sudden, somebody's like, "You want to do another one?" I'm like, "Sure. Yeah, let me see what I can come up with."
There you go.
And and sometimes, and Brent said it. Sometimes it's it's what I do, the cut and paste, and I'm not a graphics guy. I don't know the computer stuff, but I can draw. And I can pull images off of, the Google and all that stuff. Or this recent one that I just sent to Brent was a drawing on notebook paper. I just sat down and drew something out, and we went back and forth a few times before the guy's like, "That's the one."
Nice.
So it's just again, it's a lot of communication. You have to have an open line of communication with Brent and with his graphics person to be able to verbalize and get what you want, the colors you want, and that's another thing. Brent doesn't, if you have a color that's you feel as though it needs to be darker or lighter, Brent doesn't charge you on your next set of coins to change that color. They change that color, to get what you want. So, I mean, and there's a lot of companies out there that charge you, you get 2 colors and that's it. And then they additionally charge you on the back end. And Brent doesn't do that. Valor Coins and Pins doesn't do that. So,
yeah, you said how many colors can be on a coin? You said earlier,
whatever you can come
We
up
put
with.
up 18. We've done as many as 18. We do use the PMS Pantone color chart, which is 2,200 different colors, and we can use any of those. So lots of options there. Yeah.
and then now you got glow in the dark paint too. That
And
rocks.
translucent.
Now, is it just that one color glow in the dark, or can you get multiple colors glow in the dark?
Yeah, multiple.
Multiple colors glow in the dark.
Yep.
See, my mind's racing already, bro.
I will tell you this though, on that glow in the dark, it's a little powder to it. And if you saw that photo, you could see some of that glow in the dark paint got down into like where it was dark.
Yeah.
I just took a rag and wiped that off, and now the only thing that's glow in the dark now are those LED lights and the moon.
That's awesome.
So it does. It is like a powdery based substance a little bit. And if you get it on your hands enough, you can do some more paint. Some glow in the dark.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not saying I tried it. I heard.
Yeah. We know what you did, Samuel. But anyway, Brent, man, it was our honor to have you on. I know it's 9:00 at night tonight, so we will have to get together soon. I'm hoping I can make it to the Veterans Day Parade this year. I'm having complete knee surgery on October 22nd, so we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be. I might be on a cart, pushing myself somehow. We'll figure it out. But I know I'll have to get up and start moving around right away. But my friend, it was a pleasure to have you on, and we will talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you much.
Hey, you're welcome.
Guys.
You're welcome. Bye. How cool was that, Mr. Sam?
Matt, Brent's a good dude. Like I said, I've known him even before he started the coin business. I knew him, and I actually met him probably 2 years after I met Woody. He was escorting Woody at an event. So I've been friends with Brent ever since. And, it's his story, his life events. I mean, he didn't really go into, being a Gulf War veteran or anything like that. So, you know, he was over in Kuwait, Saudi that first time around. And
Yeah, I can only imagine. And he didn't go into it, his story. Like I met him. I don't remember the first time I met him, but I met him last year for Veterans Day again at Mission Barbecue last year. Candace reintroduced, and I was like, yeah, I was like, I know who you are, and he knew who I was, and but we hadn't seen each other in a while, and when I first met him, I didn't know he was Woody's grandson when I first met him, because he didn't say he was, Woody's grandson or anything like that. He's just as humble as Woody is.
Absolutely.
He's just like his grandfather.
Well, I mean, where do you think he learned it from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
I mean, the whole family, the whole Woody's whole family is that way. And what Woody has done for Gold Star families, I think it needed to be done a long time ago. But I'm glad to see that Brent and his brother is carrying on that tradition, plus the other people that are on the board with at the Woody Williams Foundation. It's just it's amazing, and it's an honor to meet these people. So.
For sure. And, those monuments, like I said, I mean, I've seen a number of them. I'm taking off to Hawaii here at the end of next month. And I'll be checking that one out that Mark sent to me too. But, there's one going in Lee, Maine that they're working on. They've been working on for a little while. And it's a Gold Star family that's doing it. They started a foundation for their son, House in the Woods. I sent you their information a while back ago. But yeah, I mean, they're trying to get one on their property. So I've helped raise funds for that one to
now that's close to your hometown, right?
Yeah, it's about a half hour north of where I'm from. Yeah.
Yeah, because
So,
you're Bangor, right? Bangor, Maine.
Howland, north of Bangor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lee, Maine is. I had family that lived there for a number of years. It was one of our rival schools in basketball and soccer. So I spent a lot of time there. Even skiing, they got a little ski resort, or had one. I don't know. I've been gone for 20 plus years, so I don't know.
Yeah,
what's
you're a
still
Kentucky boy now.
I don't know what's still going on up there, but I mean, I go home once a year and see my family, but I don't get that far north anymore.
You know, one of my memories of you from early on was that big jacked up truck you had that you got pulled over because your bumpers were not low enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
man.
happens. I don't do that stuff anymore.
Right.
I leave everything stock.
I hear you.
That way I don't get in trouble.
What year was that truck? It was red, wasn't it? It was red in color, if I remember. Yeah, it was red in color. What year was it? Do you remember what year
It was
it was?
a 90 something.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, and you were telling us how you got pulled over in it because the bumpers weren't low enough to the ground. That's how high you had it jacked up back then.
A lot of states are still that way.
Yeah. Well, for safety reasons, because
Yeah.
they don't want a vehicle like going up underneath of you and you chopping somebody's head off with as they're going underneath of you. So, but anyway, my friend, I think it's about that time because my wife is about to start knocking. She's already texted once. So
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I've not received. The only text I received is my internet's going in and out. I'm going to lose you guys, and Mark being on here and sending photos, and other people saying, great podcast. So, I mean, I'm getting them on my end finally.
There you go.
So
Well,
it's just coming on your end.
Yeah. Well, anytime you're on's a great time, my friend. Anytime we get to hang out is a good time. We definitely need to get together soon, have dinner or something, and just hang out and catch up. I know we catch up, when we see each other, but it's nothing like just sitting around and drinking a beer together or something like that. So I know you don't drink as much as I don't drink anymore. So we'll just drink some sweet tea. How about that?
I'm down for that as long as it's good sweet tea.
Yeah, definitely.
But I will tell you though, I mean, do some physical therapy beforehand. Get those muscles and ligaments built up around your knee prior to you having the surgery.
Okay.
And the recovery will be cut in half.
Okay.
As long as you're doing it properly. Because
right.
what's going to happen is you're going to get cut on. They're going to do everything, and then they're going to put you in those same exact exercises again. And it'll become muscle memory to your body. So probably the month prior, start doing that. That's one thing I didn't do with any of my 44 surgeries is do pre-physical therapy, but I didn't learn about it until I don't know, probably 30 something surgeries into it that people were doing. Actually, I take that back. I did my neck. When I had my disc replaced. They did pre-physical therapy, and the recovery wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I got you. So she is texting now. But anyway, Sam, we thank you for that bit of information. Yeah. And I will look into it. I got a couple doctor's visits before, so I'm gonna talk to them and say, hey, what exercise should I be doing beforehand?
Yeah, to help, like I said, stretch those ligaments, build those muscles up. That way, when you do get cut on, you are having that muscle memory comes back, and it'll be half the recovery time. But also, before we get off here, Candace had to jump off. Obviously, our thoughts are with her and her family right now. Obviously, we don't know what they're going through, but hopefully everything turns out all right with them.
Yeah, definitely. I know her dad's having some struggles, and then now I think it's her aunt. So neither one of them needs to be driving right now with the medical things that are going on. So that's why she's driving up there to get them, take them to the hospital. But our thoughts and prayers are with Miss Candace, and Tim Griffin was my stepdad, so my thoughts and prayers are with his family as well.
No, you as well.
Well, thank you. It's my daughters are taking it pretty hard. He was the last grandpa that living for them. They still got two grandmas living, but last grandpa living, and they took it pretty hard. So I gotta be strong for them. I just gotta help them keep on marching forward and just go from there. But You always have to ask that next hard question. That kind of leads into it. So always got to ask that next hard question, because 22 a day is too many. 44 a day is too many. So if you got a veteran out there, 988 star 1 if you're a veteran, 988 if you are a family member of a veteran. You can text them, you can go online and chat with them online. And if you don't like the person that you're talking with, you can disconnect and reconnect, and you'll get somebody different. Just reach out and talk to somebody. If you're talking to your veteran friend, family member, it doesn't matter. If they're having a hard way, you have to ask that next hard question, because one's too many. So you
Absolutely
just have to reach out. So, but like we always say on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got
your 6.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.